Hello and welcome to Best of the Bets. My name's Christina Nicolaides and we have a European football special. We're looking at the quarter-finals of the Champions League and the Europa League. And as usual, not on my own, I have Mr. Sam Dymond with me. He's our football expert and editor of bestofthebets.com. And I have our bookie extraordinaire from Heaven Bet. It is Gareth Walker. I always think you look at me that intently because you think I'm going to get your name wrong, but...
After 15 shows, you seem to be doing quite well with it now.
Before we actually look at all the games, we're going to start off with the outright prices. Bayern Munich was a favourite for all of us when it started, but what are the odds saying now?
Yeah, they're no longer favourites for various reasons, which we'll go on to discuss. But Barcelona are now reinstated as favourites, having overcome that deficit. They're 2.4 to win the Champions League. Real Madrid, 3.2.
Yep.
Bayern Munich now third favourites, they're 5.5. You've got Borussia Dortmund at 9.5. Juventus at 13.6. And then the other three, not really fancied, PSG 35, Malaga 70, and good old Galatasaray, they got through, they're still available at 101.
Blimey. Right, we're going to start with our first game. Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona.
Just for the first leg, the prices are PSG 5.4, the draw's 3.9, and Barcelona to win on the night in Paris 1.65.
We all thought Milan were going to finish the job, and they didn't. And the history books will show that Barcelona won 4-0 on the night, and it was a great turnaround. But that doesn't really.
They have weaknesses, don't they?
They do have weaknesses, and let's be honest. Milan had chances that night, and if Niang had stuck the ball away when the score was 1-0, then it would have been a very different complexion. Because with the away goal, I couldn't see Barcelona getting the goals they needed to qualify. So they remain questionable in defence, even though they have won their last 3 games now. And it's not going to be helped by the fact that Carlos Puyol is going to be out, and now Adriano's out as well. Yeah. And he's played all across the defence this season. So there's certainly something there to give PSG hope in this tie. Whether they're equipped to take advantage of it, I just don't know, because they went into the first leg of the Valencia game in brilliant form. They'd won 14 and drawn 2 of the previous 16. Yeah. But it's just not the same now. They just seem to be stumbling all over the place. Maybe this is the game that they want, but...
Well, I think that part of the reason PSG are stumbling is because they're just so focused on this European success. But I saw did you see the footage of the PSG camp at the draw? And there was a few players that were like, yeah, come on, this is our big chance. But there was one bloke there, Holden, he couldn't believe it. Absolutely devastated that they'd drawn PSG. That's before the game's even started. Chronic attitude to have. So, I mean, I hope any sort of negativity like that's been taken out of the dressing room, because Barcelona are beatable.
Perhaps he was quite upset because he knows that they're going to be without Zlatan Ibrahimovic for that first leg. He's still suspended, although PSG are desperate to overturn it, and I think that shows just how reliant they have become on him. There will be an appeal heard on March the 26th, but I can't see it getting overturned now. And despite the fact that Lavezzi has scored 5 goals in Europe for PSG this season, they are very much, Zlatan is their focal point. He scored 50% of their goals in Ligue 1. So without him, can they do it?
They've spent a lot of money on other players as well, though. To the British media, it's Ibrahimovic, Beckham, and that's it. But there is a lot of talent elsewhere.
Thiago Silva, they've probably got probably the best centre half in the world. They've got a very fine goalkeeper, despite what Ray Wilkins thinks in Salvatore.
Never heard of him, by the look.
And I think they've got probably one of the best and most informed defensive midfielders in Blaise Matuidi in Europe at the moment. So
all's a play for.
They got chances.
They've got to take them.
Yeah,
I just don't know if they will.
I can't quite bring myself to back Barcelona. I think there's doubts. This issue with the coach, which is all really really terrible situation there, but it can't help the preparation for these games. I'm sure he was involved, had input in the selection against Milan. Yeah. But he's not there. That can't help a side, whichever way you look at it. Yeah. I'm not convinced. They're so reliant on Messi. The big thing against Milan was that Villa came in and they looked a much better team. Whereas without him, and I suspect they'll go into this game without him, so I think PSG could do enough to get a draw. And I never think you're out of it. If you go to Barcelona in the second leg, normally that's a bad thing to be playing the second leg away, but discussed before, you go to the Nou Camp, goals, 1 each, 0-0, and then go over to Barcelona with Ibrahimovic back. I don't think that would be a bad outcome for PSG.
No. We do expect Tito Villanova to be back for this game, and he'll be a huge boost, not just in terms of being there for them, but in terms of offering a greater tactical insight that I don't think Jordi Rauh really has been able to do. So I think Barcelona will win this on the night in Paris, and that will see them through to the tie.
So massive thank you to the boys there on what they think about Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona. But it is time to find out what Mike Holden has to say.
You look back to that first leg at the San Siro and the way they were unpicked on that occasion, and then you look back even when they were at the peak of the powers under Pep Guardiola, their away record in knockout matches isn't too clever. They've gone to places like Stuttgart, Lyon, Chelsea, and they've not won, but particularly first leg ties. They've had some, indifferent results, and I can see more of the same. I think Paris Saint-Germain are packed with, top quality players who, in terms of mentality, they won't be overawed by the occasion. It's an occasion fitting for them just as much, and if they can get their game together, I think Barcelona are there to be taken on without a doubt.
He's siding with Paris Saint-Germain.
He is, so that's 5.4 to win the first leg. Sam going 1.66 for Barcelona. And I guess we're covering all options because I've gone for the draw there at 3.9.
OK, we are going to move on. Bayern Munich versus Juventus, so not an easy tie.
To win this game, Bayern Munich are 1.65,
Yep.
the draw is 3.9, and Juventus are 5.7. That's for the 90 minutes in Munich.
They've proved they're fallible with losing at home to Arsenal, and suddenly their form in the Bundesliga, they're still winning, but it's not quite as convincing as it was.
Yeah. And they've got Juventus have got one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So
they've got one of the best defences because I think they kept 5 straight clean sheets in the Champions League and another 14 in Serie A. So they're a very hard, typically Italian team to break down. There's injury doubts about Giorgio Chiellini, and if he was to miss out, he'll be a huge miss. Always a very, very good player, whether he's playing centre half or left back for Juventus. But I think this is going to be quite a tight game. I don't think we should completely change our minds on Bayern on that one Arsenal performance, much the same as I don't think we should change our minds on Barcelona because of that second leg against AC Milan. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think all of these first legs are going to be quite tight. Last season in the Champions League at the same stage, not one home team scored in the first leg. So I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but I think it's going to be sort of quite cagey affairs here.
I think generally, although there was that incredible, was it 2 years ago when there were just ridiculous numbers of goals?
I think that was helped by Inter Milan, just going a bit crazy against Schalke.
I mean, you generally think that first legs will be fairly tight. I think this game really will be tight. I think you've got two absolutely outstanding three-man midfielders there that are just going to cancel each other out. Yeah, I'm not so confident.
Let's
really
not forget that Schweinsteiger and Boateng were missing for that Arsenal game, and they'll be back, and that'll be a huge boost to Bayern.
Yeah, for the betting options for this game, I'm looking at siding certainly with low goals, and I like Juventus off level ball on the Asian handicap. Basically, you're getting 4.05 for Juventus, draw no bet for this, and I think the draw has to be quite a big runner. So money back if it's a draw. If Juventus win, you're getting paid at 4.05. I'd look at that, and certainly low on the goals, under 2.5 goals, 1.95. I think that's a very, very solid bet.
Yeah, low goals is how I'm going to play this as well. I like under 2 goals at 2.8. Gareth mentioned the midfield battle, and I think that is definitely going to be pivotal to this tie. You've got Schweinsteiger, Martinez and Toni Kroos for Bayern up against Marquisio, Vidal and Andrea Pirlo for Juventus. For me, they still lack a top-quality striker for all that they've evolved in the last few years.
Have they not got Nicholas Bentner? I think you'll find he's got the best pass completion ratio in the Champions League this season.
From a sample of about 25 minutes, is it?
I think it's probably one pass, but it's 100%, so let's give him credit.
That's something to, but he can't score. But yeah, you've got Bentner and Anelka who've come in, but other than that, Matri, Quagliarella, and Vukanic, and I just think that it's not a top quality striker for me. It may change next season when Fernando Llorente comes in, but at the moment they might struggle to break Bayern down, who have kept Bayern team have kept a lot of clean sheets this season.
Okay, we're going to move on to Real Madrid versus Galatasaray.
So prices for this one, for the first leg, Real Madrid are 1.2 to win in 90 minutes. The draw's 7.25 and Galatasaray are 14.6 if you fancy them to pull off a shock at the Bernabeu.
Well, they continually defied the odds in Europe this season because, let's not forget, they just had 1 point from their opening 3 group games and they didn't look like they were going to qualify.
They're going to play their heart out and push for that win.
Yeah, and I think Real Madrid are there to be taken on. They appear to have hit their stride because they've won 7 straight games now.
Yeah.
But they're still getting caught out of the back. I think they've not kept a clean sheet in 9 games. And it's the same set pieces over and over again where they seem to be struggling. I've seen 14 times now from dead ball situations this season. So there's a route for Galatasaray if they want it.
Yeah, I think you've got to side with Galatasaray for this first leg. I'd imagine over the 2 legs, Real will have too much quality and will progress. But some of the betting options you've got here, you can look at taking Real Madrid 1.2, which is very short, real big hitters only. But, I mean, Galatasaray tactically against Schalke were fantastic. Really impressed with Fatih Terim, who's back. Played the Dymond in Germany, and it worked perfectly, really. But maybe look at them, getting with them on the Asian handicap markets. You've got Galatasaray plus 1.5, and that's priced as big as 2.7. So you're getting a Galatasaray win, a draw, or Real Madrid winning by 1 goal.
Yeah.
All of those options you're covering with your bet there.
Yeah, the plus 1.5 on the Asian handicap is my bet here on Galatasaray as well. But I think they can get something here. You might want to have a look at scorelines like 1-1 on the night. But yeah, Galatasaray plus 1.5 for me.
1-1 on the night is 11.7. The plus 1.5, 2.7. Or if you want to go plus 2, that's 2.11. So you're still getting odds against. You get the insurance with that if Real Madrid win by exactly 2 goals, you get your stake back. So a different way of looking.
I still like Real Madrid to win the first leg. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe one way of playing that, actually, Christina, rather than taking that 1.2, if you want a bet of around more like even money, if you do a double Barcelona and Real Madrid, or do a double Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, both of that pays around 2. So you've got a nice way of playing that. I'd say that's the better way if you fancy Real Madrid, put them in with someone else.
Okay, we're going to move on to the final game that we are looking at. We've got Malaga versus Borussia Dortmund.
For this game, Malaga are 3.3 to win in 90 minutes. The draw is 3.4. Borussia Dortmund, very popular selection at 2.3, seeing some very shrewd money for them.
Well, we've seen shrewd money because they've been excellent in the Champions League all season. They didn't get it right in this competition last year, and they went away, and they've come back, and they've just been an excellent team all season to watch. Dortmund have been excellent, scored in every Champions League game so far. When you've got the likes of Royce, Goetze, Blaszczykowski and Lewandowski, you're always going to score goals. And I think they'll score goals here, and I think they'll probably put the tie to bed here as well.
Yeah, I think Dortmund are real good things to get through here. For me, Malaga are the weakest team left of the 8. I think that the last 16 game that Malaga had against Porto was easily the lowest quality tie from the lot, really. I just think Dortmund are just fundamentally a much better side. I certainly can't see anywhere that they don't get through from this quarter-final. 2.3. I think that is just about big enough to be still worthy of a bet on the night.
Goal scoring has become an issue for Malaga as well. They obviously had that success against Porto, but I think that's their only win in 6, and they've drawn blanks in 4 of the last 6 games as well. So they've done fantastic to do as well as they have. But this is the end of the road for them.
Okay. We have been asking you what you think is going to happen over the Champions League quarter-finals, and we do have your tweets. So before we actually go to Best Bet, let's read some of these tweets out and see what people are thinking. Aidan McGregor-Clark, Real Madrid to win by 2 or more goals against Galatasaray and to win the whole tournament.
Well, the price for winning by 2 or more goals is 1.4, quite short, but the outright price of 3.2 I'm sure will be of more interest.
At North Monkey says Dortmund versus Madrid and Munich versus Barcelona semi-finals, all German final.
Oh, he's looking a long way ahead there. We can get 11 for an all German final, Munich against Dortmund.
Yeah.
And the 4 teams to qualify, that ACCA would pay 2.75 if he wants to do the to qualify bet there.
Okay. Best bet then, Gareth.
I'm going to go actually for Juventus off level ball Asian handicap bet. Juventus plus 0 is 4.05.
Sam?
Well, we saved them till last, but Borussia Dortmund 2.3 for me to win at Malaga.
Right, so I do like Real Madrid to win, but I'm going to take your advice, put it in the double.
Yeah, with Barcelona?
Yep.
So Barcelona and Real Madrid both to win in 90 minutes. That double pays 2.0.
For you to place your bets on any of the Champions League games we have discussed and much more, head to our website, which is www.heavenbet.com. Join us after the break where we look at the Europa League, where we search for the outright winner.
insight from Poker Heaven.